Hello and welcome to Albert's Wonderful World of Terrible Movies, the show where we look at direct-to-DVD garbage and try to find out if it's good, bad, or so bad it's good. Today we're taking a look at Shark Exorcist by viewer request, and I did not have high hopes for this movie. I had been vaguely aware of it on the periphery of my bad movie shark knowledge, okay? And I knew that it was one of these like ultra low budget, like lower budget than The Asylum type movies with the shark in it, and those don't normally inspire me with a lot of confidence. And I have to tell you, Shark Exorcist is terrible in like the best way. Okay, I don't even know where to start with this movie. I should begin with the best parts of it, which are that the director who made this knew kinda what he was doing. Like from a framing and like continuity of editing standpoint, most of this movie is pretty solid. Everything is set up in a way that you can follow it pretty well, and everybody's pretty well in frame. It's not complete hacky James Nguyen and Birdemic nonsense. This guy has some experience behind the camera. In fact, quite a bit looking at his IMDb page. I don't remember the director's name, but he's been making this type of movie for a while. But he puts this together, this movie that you can kind of follow, right? It's the story of a demon nun, or Satan-worshipping nun, who is angry because people don't like the fact that she's a Satan-worshipping nun. All right, she wants revenge on these people who are mad at her because she killed some kids. Because screw those people, I guess. And she summons Satan to inhabit a shark in a freshwater lake. And then it's just a random events plot after that. There are characters that show up and disappear and have no impact on the story, and they're all blonde. Every single one of these characters is a blonde woman. Like, there's two women who aren't blonde, but you could tell that this director has a type, and he's casting to it. He's casting to it hard. I, at some point watching this, I thought to myself, so this is a guy who found out about the casting couch and said, you know, why don't I do that? But just like have it be about that, and then maybe eventually make a movie with all of these women who I'm telling are going to be in a movie. And some of these people you can tell really don't want to be in the movie. There are line deliveries that are so just almost resentful in how stilted they are. They're like, listen, I said I was going to show up on camera, and I will say the words that are in the script, but I will not be happy about it, okay? It's like that level of delivery. Not everybody, but man, there are some people in this movie who are not happy about it. There are others that are having just a blast of a time who show up. There's a psychic lady who has like 3 scenes that don't really connect to anything, but she has like a ghost busting style show where she communicates with the spirits of the dead or something, and she tries to communicate with the victims of the shark and then gets possessed by the demons, but then she's okay again. It goes around for a while on that, and then also there's another girl who has like a real like investigative program who's mad at the Exorcist psychic lady because she's like faking it or something, even though she's not in the context of the movie. It does not make a lot of sense. There's a scene at a certain point, because early on in the movie, one of the main characters, as much as this movie has main characters, gets bit by the shark, and it's a vampire style thing. Like, she survives the bite. The bite actually completely heals up. There's a great scene where she's like, look, I don't even need this bandage anymore, and she pulls off like a bandage that's barely wrapped around her leg, and there's no scar, and like, well, why did you have it on in the first place? that kind of stuff, right? But she's been going around luring people into the water, mostly men, but she meets this girl who's mentally challenged, okay? And I say girl, I mean an adult woman who is being acted at least as if she is not all there. She's playing with toys, she's, you know, hanging out on the playground. There's a part of me that thought this was originally written for a kid, and then they just got an adult to play the role, but she played it as if she was not all there mentally. And it's weird. And I'm saying this in a movie that has a lot of weird stuff. The blonde girl who's sort of playing the vampire role tells her that she likes to be in the water, and this girl invites her home to play in her pool, which then the vampire girl does, and you think, like, maybe it's going towards a weird, like, seducing the mentally challenged person to be eaten by the shark thing, and there's almost this, it's like the movie realized how wrong that was. There's a moment where you're just getting horrified by this scene and the implications, and then it just smash cuts to, oh wait, no, it was all a dream. Vampire girl is dreaming? Let's not do that, actually, guys. There's some weird choices in this. The exorcism doesn't take place, and the characters who are doing the exorcism don't really show up until like the last 20 minutes of the movie. They just show up because the name of the movie, Shark Exorcist, so you gotta have an exorcism. They do sort of what you would expect in a movie called Shark Exorcism. The shark itself does not get exorcised. I should clarify that. The vampire girl is the one that they're trying to exorcise, and they tie her to a tree lightly and scream at her, and she vomits, you know, really comically over the top amounts on the guy who's trying to do the exorcism. There's a lot of obvious homages to the original Exorcist. And then the movie should be over, right? We should have, at that point, like a little cap maybe that shows that, oh, the exorcism didn't take, or the shark has taken someone else. But the problem is, we're only to about minute 50. And the director's like, I've basically wrapped up the story. What do I do now? Padding. And so, there are two scenes that don't make any sense, that are just stuck into the end of this movie so that it can be like an hour and 10 minutes long and qualify as feature length. All right, the first scene involves a girl walking to the lake in real time, like no cuts, taking off her clothes except for her swimsuit that she has on underneath her clothes, and everybody in this movie is wearing a swimsuit underneath their clothes. Okay, it's just every character is. She goes to sunbathe on an incredibly overcast day. She's walked past this guy who's creeping on her, but from behind a tree that she doesn't see. And again, all of this takes place in real time. We see him walk up to her, take out his phone, take pictures of her with her eyes closed as she's sunbathing for like a minute. And then we get a close-up on the phone as the dude is scrolling through the pictures that he took. Like, not just a couple of them, all right? Not just so that we could understand that he was taking pictures and not video. Literally like 20 pictures we look at him looking at after we already saw him take the pictures. And then we get to credits, all right? There's some big stinger as the shark shows back up or whatever, you know, predictable stuff. We get to credits, and the credits roll for a while, and then they do a mid-credit stinger. And this is where the other padding for the movie comes in, because you're thinking, well, it's still like only an hour long. And we get to this scene in an aquarium where there is a girl who's wandering around the aquarium, and she just wanders around the aquarium for like 10 minutes. There's no dialogue. There's no indication of who this person is. She goes in the gift shop at a certain point and is just browsing through plush sharks for 2 solid minutes of this movie, and it's just the best. I mean, I fast forwarded through that part, don't get me wrong. But this movie it definitely has that so bad it's good flavor that you're looking for in a movie called Shark Exorcist. The padding aside, just the performances that you get to see these beleaguered blonde women give this director are wonderful. It's immensely entertaining. I recommend it highly if you can find it, and it's hard to find. All right, I looked on all the places I could legitimately buy it, all right, as a streaming platform. I looked on the piracy sites where you would download a torrent. I couldn't find it there. Eventually, I ended up going to one of those like weird, skeezy streaming video sites that did have a copy that I was able to watch after letting it buffer like 20 times. They don't want you to see this movie, I guess, but trust me, you want to see this movie. Anyway, that's going to do it for this week, folks. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a terrible movie that you would like us to cover on this show, I am taking viewer requests, all right? Leave it in the comments. I have a list of movies that people have recommended. Now, next week, I will not be doing viewer requests because we will be talking about the Asylum's new upcoming film, Triassic World. But if there is a movie you want to talk about going forward, we're doing this hopefully once a week. I had the patrons vote on which one they wanted, and Shark Exorcist made it to the top. So keep submitting those terrible, terrible movies, and we'll keep talking about them, and hopefully you'll keep watching. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Thank you.